And hello, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're here today once again for another week of awesome PUBG action here at the PEL Contenders Phase 3. The last 4 days, we had a lot of action coming on through with the last 16 teams. Teams rising, teams unfortunately falling. But today, we're going back to square one with a brand new set of 16 teams.
Yeah, Group B coming out to show us what they've got. Group B have such a roster of teams, such a chunk of teams, likes of ELGIGANTEN Gaming, which is the former powerful roster who finished first in the PLC. Phase 2, you have the likes of PG18, Northern Lights, no tag team who I'm really looking forward to, because in Phase 2, they got all the way to the PEL promotion stage where they did finish 7th, unfortunately, so they're back at it to try again in Phase 3.
They had really consistent performances overall in the contender stage. It did start with a second position in the group stage, followed up after, so great from them to have them on the play. A lot of these teams, they probably know, going a little bit all over the board in Phase 2, but here they are back. A few teams actually did also change their roster, so you're going to be having to get used. We're going to try and get the information out to you guys to try and inform and update on the team rosters.
Of course. So, yeah, for example, Airstation Mike, you might be going, who are they? Well, they're the team formed by ToWzErA and fEJK, who are formerly of Desperados, along with a couple of other players, the likes of Hugstar and Jazza, to make up that roster. And then when you look at the likes of Tempest, they are, my humble apologies, trying to be aware. Tempest is, as it's just gone completely out of my head, my apologies there, but they are a fantastic roster of players looking to really make their mark in the PLC.
One team that's going to really have to make them up because they did actually replace a team, that's Team Vitality, that was supposed to be in this phase. They did unfortunately disband, and one team that had then an opportunity to get their spot here is in the 14th position. That's going to be Team 4Kings that did then take the spot of Vitality. So big shoes to try and fill up. Let's hope the 4Kings can do a great splash in these first 4 games today.
Yeah, of course. And one team that I'm definitely looking out for is the side of Brute Force. They're rebranded from Airways. Airways showed so much potential in Phase 2, and they didn't quite get as far as I'm sure they can 100% get to. I saw them play in the PLC Contenders in the Phase 2 and then in the promotional stage as well, and they are just a team with so much potential on their side.
So here we go, the schedule once again for this second week of the PEL Contenders. 4 matches coming your way. Going to kick off the day with double Erangel. Always feels good to start off the day with that. Then followed up with a Miramar, and then going to see how the players and the teams of Group B can stand off against the map of Sanhok. That's going to be really interesting, especially to see no tag team on that map.
Yeah, I kind of put the question out there about Sanhok to a couple of players there today, and most of them are give the same echoing response, which is basically it's just not ready for competitive, too much three-man partying that can go on, and you can't really see anything on the map. And I do totally agree, it's really tough as a map for these teams and these players, but of course they can't directly do anything about it. They've just got to do exactly what they can to make the best of the situation.
Yeah. Rotation going to be really important on the map. And here we go, back over to the rules. If you did unfortunately miss the first week of the PEL Contenders here, we're going to try and recap everything for you, how the points do work. First position, Chicken Dinner, is worth 10 points, all down to 1 point in 8th position, then the big fat bubble right there, and 1 kill equal on points. And we saw a bunch of teams, actually. They dominated in Group A, and I'm expecting the same kind of result with those kill points in this Group B. Especially a bunch of teams that are playing really aggressive. We talked about the likes of PG18, no tag team, and also BetterLuckNxTime. They're also here. We didn't tell their name. If you're a big fan of BetterLuckNxTime, they are coming your way today.
Yeah, a couple of teams are the likes of BetterLuckNxTime and Red Fox. They're coming from the PEL Open stages. So they have something to prove, right? They want to make their mark here on the Phase 3 of the PLC. They want to really kind of stand out above the rest. And hey, they have every opportunity. We've seen Rewop over in Group A, who also came out from the PEL Open. They made a bit of an impact in a couple of these games. But it's like we talk about, consistency is the most important thing in these games. You can get a bad result here or there, nothing wrong with that. But when it starts continuing on, you're only really affecting your own performance. I can echo one team that really stood out, top performance, is ELGIGANTEN Gaming. As I said, the former powerful roster. Back in the PLC promotional stage of Phase 2, they really marked out, they fragged out, they got an average of over 10 points per game in the 16 games, and really they dominated that standings.
Yeah, that's why a lot of these teams are here today. Is they made it through, they pushed through a few teams, also like just teams going up and down. So I think this is one of the first times we're going to see a lot of these teams actually playing in one lobby off the bat. Right, like all these 16 teams. So also they're gonna have to try and do a lot of research. I hope these teams did like try and look at the other teams a little bit more. That's your usual stuff. Trying to learn a little bit rotations. Know where teams are gonna be dropping. Trying to avoid if you can avoid early game fights.
Exactly.
Just have a nice early game. But that's what we saw when we were doing on Group A. Teams sometimes used to drop at the same location, and after that they kind of spread out way more evenly, just to avoid early game fights. They were trying to fix that as much as possible, and then you just saw after the first half of Group A phase is just a little bit calmer.
Yeah, I was talking to Nalub, who said that they like to land in Ferry Pier. By lands near Ferry Pier, they ain't moving. So it'll be interesting to see how that will play out in over in Erangel for them, and for these teams, especially for new ones that may be formed together or rebranded or just generally new rosters or new teams. Of course, it's about how much time they've had to build up synergy, to really kind of work on their own rotations and their formations and their communications together. Because with these teams, you can have multiple players from different countries, so it's a matter of making sure that you have those keywords down to a T, that you have those kind of chain of commands that are in progress, ready to kind of be put out in the heat of the moment. Because when you're in the heat of the moment, when you're in the heat of a battle, not everything comes to mind straight away, other than maybe that key word that you're able to communicate out for the rest of your team, and that can be the difference maker between you winning a squad fight or you going out in a squad fight.
Synergy going to have to be very important for one team. For example, Airstation Mike, just going to be created by two members. It was ToWzErA and also fEJK. And he created his team, and they created their team, and they got Hugstar and Jazza to join them now. So once again, that synergy, we saw that maybe a little bit lacking at the start of last week for Group A, but then they worked on that synergy because a lot of these teams never play together on the competitive scene, maybe in scrims and everything. So it's going to be a really good experience for most of these teams to finally get that competitive experience.
Well, it's a matter of kind of taking what experience they have in PUBG, because all these players are extremely experienced in PUBG alone. I tell you, have a lot more experience than I am. I know that much, but they're very experienced in the world of PUBG. So it's a matter of taking what they have, but also applying a fresh start and a fresh coat of paint in the team that they're in, and going, okay, how do we guys play together? What's a play style? Is this person more aggressive? Do you want to have a scout in every single game? How do you want to approach the map? Especially when you involve something like Sandhawk that's new in Phase 3 of PUBG Competitive. It's a new element. That's why you kind of want to take what you have, but also kind of restart and go fresh, I say, with that new lick of paint as you go into the Phase 3 of PLC.
Yeah, we're starting fresh, as we just said, with a Group B. And because it's starting fresh, I do want to try and remind you guys on the stream, if you type !map in the stream, you'll have a dedicated map stream to know exactly where your teams are located, because it's going to be really interesting to see these hot drops, see which teams have their favorite location. Talked about Ferry Pier. That would be really nice to see if we have a few fights over there, because so far in Group A, not much happens over there. Not a lot of gatekeeping actually on the bridges. I would like to see that happen this time.
Yeah, I suppose that comes down to each team has their own strategy, their own formation, and yes, as much as they'll do a hell of a lot of research and a hell of a lot of VOD reviewing on what the other teams do, they kind of play their own game. They're confident in what they're doing out on the battlefield, knowing every single peak, knowing every single area of the map that they know, and then they work together, get in the right positions, and it's a matter of they're confident enough that it doesn't matter who it is that they come across, they're going to take them out.
That's what we're going to be trying to look out for. Here it is, Game 1 of Group B, just about to kick off on Erangel. Playing pretty central, might be a little bit too far from the likes of Milta Power. Should be a little bit too far off. Maybe Nova also, but here we go. I'd like to see some maybe early game fights in Pachinki, but once again, you don't want to see fights, but I'd like to cast it as pretty interesting, some early Pachinki action. Who doesn't like that?
Of course. And it's also going to be, I really would like a very central circle. We've seen in Erangel, it's very easy to shift, especially towards military base, but even on the southern coastline. And we've seen one northern coastline, I believe, here in Phase 3 of the PLC. But one team I'm definitely going to be looking out for is the side of Team MOOPHEUS. They were signed. They signed the full roster of Ecstatus, who finished third in the PLC Phase 2 promotion. They racked up an average of over 7 points per game in that league, in those set of matches, which is definitely enough to get into the top 8, because these teams, they're fighting for a top 8 position to move on to the final stage of PLC. So I reckon between 7 and 8 is comfortable enough per game, points-wise, to secure that spot.
Yeah, just consistency once again is going to be the name of the game. A few drops going to see the likes, actually, of no tag team. They're going for the coastline towards Ferry Pier. Talked about that earlier, that location. Here, oh my god. Okay, I think we jinxed it a little bit talking about coastline this time around, but we're going to have a very western circle towards the center of George Pole down to Primorsk. A few teams going to be really well located. Forking, actually, they're not going to have to rotate whatsoever. Really good looting phase, and they just have to hold the coastline early game. They should not be taken out early. There's no reason for them to do so. It's just going to be... a few teams actually will not in the circle towards the very central. You're expecting a very central. I think they might be expecting the same, so a big shift should be happening in the next few minutes.
Do you see KnorkiS from BetterLuckNxTime landing on his own as a bit of a single scout, pinched in between two members of Airstation Mike, so he's going to have to be very careful of his footsteps, of his movement. If he can kind of get out there as quickly as possible without being spot out, that would definitely be a good thing for him and the rest of his team. All the while, MJ-Esports, a team with huge potential. Phase 2 didn't quite hit the marks. Again, like I'm sure they can gladly hit. So they're going into Phase 3 of PLC, looking to aim higher, get better results, of course, qualify for the finals, and maybe even get into PEL for the 2020 year.
That's what we're expecting for most of these teams. I think that's what they're expecting for themselves also. So best of luck to every single team and player on this first map of the day. Gonna have then a few rotations having to happen. You had also two teams that did go for the lights of Military Island, so two shifts might be happening from over there. Jokers, a team that has been doing decent. They had in the PEL, actually, the PEL Phase 2 contenders. Yeah. They got 6th position in the group stage, up to 15th. So let's hope that this time they can try and have a better performance if they do get in that top 8 on the group on the final stage. Joker's going to try and step it up a little bit more.
Yeah, they're a new roster, though. The team took the slot of MJ-Esports here in Phase 3 of the PLC. And they've landed in Severny, which isn't really a common spot, but I think it's a really safe spot. They will have possibly a bit of a tough situation. It shouldn't be to rotate. They can head towards George Paul. If they're aware of where these teams like to drop, ELGIGANTEN will be there. But if ELGIGANTEN look to shift in early on, then that will give them plenty of space to head down into the circle from the west coast. Interesting to see how that will play out for them.
That river might come in action at some point in time.
It might.
You have a few teams that can try and gatekeep it, but I think that just going to try and see how the game does unfold later on. Northern Lights, then they're going to be on School. Too cool for School. They're not going to be full team over there. So they're going to do a usual 2-2 split. Not too much of a hassle as long as you do regroup later on towards the likes of Phase 2. That's what you're trying to expect from these teams. Team Unique, they went for the dead center of Military Island, Military Base to be exact. And no teams really around them. So once again, Military Base, if you can have it for solo squad, 4-man team, easily, you can maybe even get to a full tier 3 loot just on your armor, your helmets. That's going to be great for them to try and blast on to the next phase of the game. And actually, we'll be careful, two teams getting really close together.
Well, as I say, it's that single member of BetterLuckNxTime, although Artix has joined KnorkiS, so it's a bit of a 2v3 situation coming out right now. Actually, no, my apologies, 2v4 situation as Airstation might do kind of surround Artix and KnorkiS, as KnorkiS is just kind of firing a couple of shots off onto ToWzErA. I don't think ToWzErA was completely aware, but now a couple of shots being fired off as Faultlessly looks to join and surprise attack ToWzErA as the first knockdown comes down, looking to secure a frag. Great play coming out from the side of BetterLuckNxTime in the start of their PELC journey in Phase 3 as they secure the first point of Group B.
Yeah, nicely done for them. They do not have the compound. It was taken over by Airstation Mike, but they are surrounding them, so that could be a really good advantage to try and get different points of angle and apply a lot of pressure on Airstation Mike. And they're being really cautious here. A few different angles. They're doing a usual 2-1 split despite losing that member earlier. They're playing it as safe as possible. Also, really a lot of respect coming out from the opposing team as KnorkiS, he's getting a little bit closer to Jazza. He's down to 1/3 HP. You've got to be a little bit careful there. Have your team to back you up.
I do like the position of actually fEJK and Hugstar. Kind of, even though it's out in the open, they have the rocks. They have the kind of little bit of peaks that they can kind of hide behind and protect themselves. Because you have the compound, you have the house, but when you kind of look at it right now, it seems like BetterLuckNxTime don't have Airstation Mike surrounded to the point that they can get a full squad wipe. So I think Airstation Mike, for now, find themselves in a solid position.
ELGIGANTEN, They're going to be rotating on the very western coast. That's a very, very safe rotation at this stage of the game. You have a bunch of compounds also a little bit down south. So I think that's a great safe rotation from the likes of ELGIGANTEN.
And Jokester did rotate a little bit earlier than I initially thought, but I always say teams should look to rotate early. However, they are kind of going into the path of where ELGIGANTEN, Istanbul Wildcats, and of course, huge potential.
Yeah, this fight is still ongoing. Airstation Mike versus the likes of BetterLuckNxTime. Seemed like no one is quite ready to go for to pull the trigger on this one, which I do understand. They're a little bit split too. They had a 2-2 angle.
Well, that's the thing. BetterLuckNxTime is now rotated in a bit of a better position, as you just point out, 2-2 in those housing compounds. Provides better protection, provides better opportunities to get those shots off towards the likes of Airstation. Mike, his fate is now prone behind that door. Artix is there. He has the AKM ready to spot out either Jazza, Hugstar, or fake as fake does get knocked down from Faultlessly.
He does have a little bit of a wall to work with, so he might get res. He's not going to get instantly flushed, but look at that. Fate from BetterLuckNxTime going for the flank on the 2-1 split. Might try and flush fake if he can actually find him. Doesn't seem like that is the case, but here it is. Kissick, going for the nice play there. Going to try and get another position, but we did unfortunately lose Faultlessly in the process. Going to be turning this fight now into a little bit of a disadvantage. It's turned down to a 3v3. Did lose Fake, unfortunately, so that's going to be turned into a 3v2 now.
I definitely think Faultlessly kind of got a little bit too big for his boots in that situation, going in on his own. When you do get that knockdown, I always feel if you're not 100% confident, you want to have two players together, because if they do look to surprise you, you can get the job done. But Kizik opened the door and felt the bullets of Jazza as he does get knocked down now, trying to peek around the corner, down to very, very low knockdown health. Most probably going to lose his life, and it's going to turn the advantage back over to Airstation Mike.
Yeah, here it is. The flush comes out from Jazza on top of Kissick. It's going to be just fine for now. Turned now into a proper 2v2 scenario on their side. Jazza and Hugstar, they have two buildings under their control. It's going to be great for them. Oh, Hugstar taking a lot, actually, of damage right there, down to now about 50% HP. The blue zone is on top of them, so this fight's going to have to end at some point in time, or otherwise you might actually lose both, because a team actually is in circle and might be able to gatekeep the remaining teams there.
True, but it's only, when you're looking at this specific moment, it's only phase 1 blue zone. It's not going to do that much tick damage. It might force a bit of a rush through for one of these teams. As we do see this phase 2 circle, it's still so far west that you can't see about like 1/5 of the circle that's against the edge of the map. So that is a hugely coastal line for this circle. It's going to force a lot of these teams. Quarry is going to be a bit of an interesting spot for these teams to kind of stay on. I don't mind Quarry. I personally like it as a location to get it on compound-wise, but it definitely poses its own risks. As Istanbul Wildcats, they like to find the center of the circle, holding a good compound spot. Yeah,
dead center. They might be actually get a few, maybe phases. Just chill without having to rotate. So if you can try and hold that for a long time, that'll be just fine. No tag team. They're going to be also in their own compounds. Just like at this point, no big fights really happening. You had a big fight. They're still actually ongoing in the blue zone of earlier. Oh, here it is. Talking about that fight. Arctic's going to be flushed away by Hugstar on top of that building. Fate going to be the last member now. For BetterLuckNxTime. 2v1 on their side.
Does he look to try and go away, or does he look to try to secure a frag before potentially being taken out? And we could see the first squad of Group B being wiped out. What can he do?
At this point, he does have a really good angle to work with, but they are two members, and just if you do split, one on the left, one on the right, two angles of fire, you can't really respond efficiently as a one-man. So Faye, I think that actually Airstation Mike might not want to pick that fight. It seems like they're just going to leave him be for now.
Let's see.
Get to the safe zone, maybe gatekeep him later on.
Talking about kind of gatekeeping and holding on. No tag team. They have 4 kings kind of slightly surrounding them. There's Higgy and Blast on just outside this compound, as GRISHKAPOWER is also not super close by. More heading towards the deep south, I think, maybe trying to be a bit of a scout for his team. As
Brute Force, they're going to be on the very nice coastline here. They're going to try and rotate. They're going to do a similar rotation that we had earlier from ELGIGANTEN. So they should be, once again, very, very safe. No team really surrounding them, but here it is, going for Tempest, actually going to get bikes. Ooh! RF not looking too good, unfortunately. But Tempest going to lose Handy in the process. Jevler's going to have to try and peel back a little bit. Does have the high ground. Just find one member. Clear, but here it is, coming on through. Does get clapped right back in the face by RF, a little bit far in the distance. This fight is not going well at all, and look at that, be careful. Metabay, who's the last member of Red Fox. Down to now 9 HP, just have a few nice damage. 19 damage coming on through. Nice on top of Claire. Tempest going to do the move, going to be prone down just a little bit. He does have a grenade, try and cook it up. If it does connect, that'll be huge. I think that just connected on the tree, actually, I'm not too sure. Yeah, it did bounce back on the tree. Another grenade coming on behind. Oh, is it going to be enough damage? Oh no, barely makes it on. Here it is, goes for the flush. Tempest going to be eliminated by Red Fox in 16th position.
Wow, Red Fox, the PEL Open. PEL Open, should I say, team joining in on the fun, starting their journey in the PLC with a bang, taking out the side of Tempest.
Yeah, a little bit of just a few seconds difference was that grenade explosion would have made the difference, but that was not the case. The next shift, a little bit less coastline to work with, but still teams that like Brute Force and also Four Kings having a pretty good situation. Actually, talking about Four Kings, they're very split. Talked about it earlier, around the sides of no tag team. They might want to try and get their forces a little bit more together because we're starting to hit the late game phase and it's starting to get a little, it's slowly getting there.
It's getting there. It's getting there.
Playing still that split at this stage can be very scary.
There you go. Finally got my notes together. Tempest, who were eliminated in 16th place, formerly the Ridley Sports, Sports minus Zinzen. So it is essentially some form of a new roster, so they might be just, you know, taking a little bit longer, so to speak, outside of what time they've had the scrim to really form their rotations, form their strategies. As we now see Unique looking to pick up a bit of a battle, a bit of a fight with MJ-Esports, who 2 members hold on to that building.
Yeah, 2 members going to be solo against this Storm, but though Red Fox in a distance might try and get involved in that 3-man party if they do really want to. It is pretty far away, but if they want to put the effort in it, they could try and do so. But yeah, Unique, they're going to try and get a little bit closer up on the...
I don't think they know. I think they don't know that Stratus was there. That's a bit of an unfortunate level of awareness that came out from Team Unique. Maybe a little bit of a tunnel vision situation, but they do now turn their attention onto it as a grenade flew out from Dezout to knock down Stratus. But how will they respond to MJ-Esports? Juno getting a knockdown now onto Dezout, and a frag secure. That Standing is the only one that 2 members that are left alive as a grenade goes flying out. Standing did get to knock down onto Mini as Unique do get eliminated in 15th place. What started off as a good play, a good engagement from Team Unique, instantly turned sour the second they didn't realize that Stratus was there from behind, and that's what helped secure the squad win for MJ-Esports.
Yeah, a lack of information in those fights is what can just cause the death of your team right there. That's what happened, unfortunately. And Team Unique out of the picture. No tag team once again. We talked about it earlier. They don't need to rotate. They're just going to be chilling for the next phase. So they should be just fine. Also, Four King, they were trying to get involved with that fight, but once again, because they were a little bit split, they didn't really commit to that fight, which I do understand. I really do understand, like what they did there, Four King.
And they're still a little bit split, which I do slightly worry about. All the while, Jokster's there on the edge of the circle right now, looking over towards the likes of PG-18, Northern Lights. We're leaving a little bit late to get into the circle, so it could be a bit of a 3-squad fight going on over the fight in the edge of the zone as Dies firing a couple of shots off in the direction of Jokesters. Nothing super connecting, although Moon was taken down to about 40 health.
Here's the next shift. Where's it going to be leading us up to? Here it is. Pretty
nice.
Pretty northern shift here. Going to be going to the likes of Istanbul Wildcats and also PG-18. PG-18, a team we haven't talked a lot about this game. They've been very calm, very, very chill. And this compound, actually, because you have so many roads, is so good to actually try and defend. But when you do get to the lower section of the road, you have that little bit of a lift of a hill to work with. Northern Lights going to find a few shots, but not quite connecting on top of Recran. Oh my god, talking about connecting. There you go. Recran going to be knocked away. He does have a few allies in this building. Might get res back up. The Deep will say get knocked away. Okay, bro, there to back him up.
Yeah, the Wanderer. He's a new addition to the side of PG-18, along with the side of Recurrent, who, as you saw, just got knocked down. So PG-18 maybe still just finding their flow, finding their synergy throughout this PLC Phase 3 as Nemrith in that building. Do Northern Lights know you there? Yes, they do. Okay, bro. Now cooking up a grenade. No! He gets knocked down while cooking up that grenade. Great response coming out from Nemrith as they're trying to deal with the fire coming up on the stairs. He's got very little space as a grenade comes flying out. PG-18 get eliminated in 14th place. Great pressure for Northern Lights from a distance with those Molotovs and the grenades.
Yeah, because the Molotov, they do spread on the wood here of the building. So that just gave him less room to work with. He couldn't really peek anymore. And then the grenade just to confirm that kill. Nicely done by Northern Lights after their rotation away from school. Red Fox, they had a really good fight earlier. Can they try and continue? They still have the high ground. They have to rotate a little bit up north. They have to try and keep that in mind. A few teams are around the corner, so it definitely is something to be a little bit cautious about. And Airstation Mike, they survived the fight earlier that was happening. They lost 2 members, unfortunately. But 4 Kings still up on the top of the mountain there.
They've gotten more together. They're in a 2-2 split right now, although they are outside the circle. No tag team hold on to onto the compound inside the circle, so they could be gatekeeped. 4 Kings, if they're not too careful, they might want to rotate up to the west side of this circle. All the while, Northern Lights, who did take out PG-18 just now, looking to fire shots off in the direction of ToWzErA, are a little bit out in the open, but are protected by both smokes potentially and the US that is there.
There is a few shots connecting. Nice. Oh, here it is. That's going to be the end of the tab. Unfortunately, they still have that card. It did explode, so that means no more issues of explosion coming on through. He's really trying to find those feats there. Perfect.
Ooh. Airstation might get eliminated in 13th place. I'm not exactly sure how it was in the mini zone, so I didn't quite pick it up myself. Apologies for that in the kill feed. However, they're eliminated in 13th place. 12 teams, 36 players left standing. Pyro from Northern Lights now pushing on forward, a little bit out in the open. That's why he's thrown out a smoke grenade, right? He's giving himself that little bit of a wall, a little bit of a protection should they get third party. That's kind of exactly what is happening. Although jokesters do get eliminated just in time. We did see ELGIGANTEN, the powerhouse, former powerful roster, taking shots off in the direction of Northern Lights, so they are going to want to back off to stop themselves from getting pinched.
And 4 Kings, finally, they're back together. That's what I was expecting a little bit early on. Now, we were a little bit scared of what was happening. They got back as a full team, but they are going against some no tag. Ooh.
And they did do, as I kind of suggested, of rotating into a circle from the west side, and they will look to contest no tag team inside this compound. That's inside this phase 5 circle, more importantly, Maxman. So the likes of Northern Lights going to have to rotate down. Istanbul Wildcats, who've kept fairly quiet for this game, who got into a circle relatively early on, got a compound all to themselves. 4-man squad still going strong. So they might find themselves having to pop a couple of shots off into the teams looking to rotate in, which, if they can secure their frags, or potentially even a squad wipe, will be a very good start in their PLC journey.
You talked about it earlier during Phase 1 that Quarry might have a few fights. Yeah. They have to rotate away from Quarry, and because you only have this little cliff on the side, when they're going to have the angle, when they get a little bit too far, they're going to all have angle on each other, and that fight might actually break out.
It is.
Careful though, HP in the distance is Mox.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I don't think he was meant to go down that hill.
I don't know.
It's going to be interesting if that was an intentional play on that US. It might have been a bit of a misstep with that steering wheel. As now team moves, I think that was actually intentional. Either that, or they're making it look as if it's potential. As Hawkey and the rest of the team moves, taking shots from both huge potential and I believe MJ-Esports.
There's no tag team within the compound.
Yep.
Trying to slow down that rotation.
Yes, no tag team. That is exactly who it is. My apologies. You're dead right, Maxon. As Alrain, E-Hot. Looking to find the angles. Northern Lights and Istanbul Wildcats. Could this be a bit of a compound breach as a smoke star being thrown out in the direction to try and create that smoke wall for the side of Northern Lights?
Yeah, just a few smokes to just try and crawl a little bit further in the circle. Istanbul Wildcats not give them any room to breathe. Huge potential. Have a pretty big potential of taking out Northern Lights. They do, because they're not behind those smokes there. Actually, they do have a pretty good angle. Here it is. I'm not even sure if Northern Lights have the information actually where they're getting shot from.
Was that pun intentional, by the way?
Maybe.
Okay, well, it
I'll let you guess.
was an accepted huge potential. As ELGIGANTEN did get eliminated in 11th place. BetterLuckNxTime now eliminated in 10th place. We're in the 21-minute mark. This is where the teams get closer and the fights start raging on, and the shots being fired out with the side of huge potential. EHOT now having to reload his gun, now crouching himself down. And then he'll look to peek again, maybe reposition a little bit. Try and fire those shots again. It's great when you can kind of, unload a clip, reload, but then reposition yourself a bit so you're not exposing yourself to your opponents as easily as possible. As MJ-Esports, they're a little bit protected. What is this next phase circle going to do? Where is it going to go? How is it going to shift? It's going to shift towards the fields outside Quarry, where no tag teams still hold on to one of the two compounds, maybe kind of three. You got a little bit of a hut on the kind of north and south side of this circle, split between the road. Team MOOPHEUS hold on to a very strong position as well.
That really strong position, but it's just for now, because that next shift will actually put them in a lot of trouble, because they're going to have to try and face completely the full forces of Huge Potential. And Huge Potential seem like they want to close on through. And even if they do get out, behind the corner, you have also Red Fox.
Exactly. So you got three teams looking to vie their way into the circle while still having to be aware on top of the Quarry Hill of who's looking down from above, who's looking in their direction. So that's something that's going to be very, very unfortunate if you get exposed. As now MJ-Esports, Juno and Mini from down below, they get knocked down. Nice play coming out from Greyhawk on the side of Huge Potential. They do secure that squad wipe on the MJ-Esports, getting taken out in 9th place. Now the top 8, they will secure placement points. That's a bit of a bonus, but now it's a matter of securing as many kills, as many frag points, while still being inside the circle as possible for your team, as Istanbul Wildcats moving on forward as a 4-man squad, I might add, with Northern Lights to the east side of them, and Brute Force to the west side of them.
But Brute Force only got 2 members. So it's going to be turned into a 2v4 skirmish. It's going to be AmerouuS and also HalloSenpai. Does he scout HalloSenpai? He heard the shots. He does look behind him. BSD and Apocalypse going to get a few shots. Here it is. Instantly knocked away. Probably flushed also by BSD of Istanbul Wildcat. Here it is, though. Another knock from Huge Potential. This high ground is so valuable for them since the last phase. And they just keep playing really well around that.
Yeah, Brute Force do get now taken out in 8th place. It was, as we saw, a bit of a surprise attack from Istanbul Wildcats, eliminating themselves, as 4 Kings are still going strong in this game, although only as a 3-man team. As decided Huge Potential out now, a grenade is going to be thrown out in the direction of Team MOOPHEUS. You go into that compound as a bit of a team. You stay together. All it's going to take is a couple of grenades as the kill feed is starting to light up. Istanbul Wildcats securing frag after frag onto the side of 4 Kings, and Manny gets knocked down, as GRISHKAPOWER is the only one that's really left standing on the side of 4 Kings and the 4-6 health. 14 health, 4 Kings get eliminated from Istanbul Wildcats, lighting up the kill feed.
Istanbul Wildcats doing great. Be careful. Northern Lights have 1 member behind him. Got to be a little bit careful. Huge Potential still on the move. They're getting slowed to Team MOOPHEUS. The grenade did come out earlier, but didn't do quite much on the entirety of the forces of Team MOOPHEUS. Oh, be careful though.
Hawk,
yeah. Not looking too good. Does get almost knocked away, but just get to the safety of this crate just in time. Is that an AWM I just saw? I'm not too sure. It is the mini. Oh my god, here it is. Alrain going to be knocked away by Northern Lights. Northern Lights actually, despite having only 2 members, they're putting so much pressure on Huge Potential.
Well, they got 5 kills already.
Yeah.
You got Spyro and Perfectix. Perfectix shone out for me in a lot of ways in every single game that I've seen them playing, whether it's phase 2 of PLC or otherwise. As now they're looking to make a bit of an impact in the final moments, the final circle of this game. They are inside the circle. Huge Potential get eliminated. Perfectix being Perfectix. Well, actually, no, that pun didn't come out quite right. As now Red Fox looking to get exposed by both Team MOOPHEUS and Northern Lights, although Team MOOPHEUS, they turned their attention onto Northern Lights.
Yeah, Northern Lights, they are actually the closest team to the circle, so they're the team with the less rotation to actually try and pull off, so they can actually try and dictate the next few rotations. But though Team MOOPHEUS in the distance, they have so many snipers up their sleeve, they can actually try and apply so much pressure on top of them, especially with that high ground that's been working out so well for them until now. And
we haven't really talked too much about No Tag Team, where Yannick and another of those players is Gibbet moving into a circle, going across the road. Right, actually, no, sorry, it's Naileup, my apologies. Yannick and Naileup now joining in on the fun, maybe getting a little bit too far forward in circle, and they get pinched from all directions, and Nidlip gets knocked down. Yannick is about to get knocked down and actually frag secured as ToWzERA. Hawkeye gets his 5th kill of Game 1 of Group B in PLC Phase 3.
Oh my god, AWM plays here coming out.
I love the fire
I know,
of
right?
the AWM.
It's so rare, though. You don't hear it that often. I'm so sad, but here it is, though. Northern Lights, they still have this little building for themselves. Though they're going to get so surrounded. Here it is, a nice shot in the distance from ToWzERA. They're going to be flying. Northern Lights going to be down to 1 member. Is going to be trying to survive. Spyro might be able to reach it back up. Perfect. There it is. Istanbul Wildcats. They're going to have the high ground. No tag team. Only 1 member remaining.
I was going to say Red Fox is still going strong in this game, but they do get eliminated as we're down to 4 teams, 8 players left alive. Istanbul Wildcats with 3 members up. Northern, no tag team, should I say, with 1 member up. That's Give It. Northern Lights with 2 members going strong, and ToWzERA. Well, Hawkeye, although double, did get knocked down as a grenade starting to fly out in all directions in amongst the smokes. Perfectus just looking to fire shots off, hoping for the best.
This is such a flat area, you have to pop the smokes now, despite not being a very, very late phase. So, Moops, they did res back up double. Hawkeye going to try and force on through a little bit. The smokes are ending, and here it is, he has the shot. Double going to be sprayed on through by Perfectus. He's going to be normally flushed out. There it is, Northern Lights. After all, the Spyro, they're doing a great job with this little building. A few shots once again. Oh my god, not giving them any room to breathe. Hawkeye might be the next casualty. The smoke, they are ending. Doesn't have any more time. Bingo, bango. ToWzERA out in 3rd position. 2 teams remaining, going to be between Northern Lights and the likes of Istanbul.
Northern Lights, who survived as a 2-man team for must be about 10 minutes. No helmet on Perfectix. Lovely hairline, though, gotta say. 10 kills for their side. The circle is going against them.
He's not going to get the kill.
He's not going to get the kill. He's just going to take himself out with the blue zone. That's going to be winner chicken dinner going to Istanbul Wildcats. It's not a strategy that you see very often, and it's not a strategy that the players like to do, but when you die to Blaze Zone, you take away the points from your opponents, and that's a strategy in the world of PUBG. You don't want to give any points over to your opponents.
Because Istanbul Wildcats, they had such a good game. 1 point might make the difference a little bit later on in the leaderboards.
But, man, Northern Lights, though, as a 2-man team towards that end, in that small little shack, took down ToWzERA, took down, I forget exactly who it was.
I think it was Red Fox.
Yeah, Red Fox as well. Either way, they were just firing shots off in all directions, and they pulled in a fantastic performance.
Yeah, that's why they got a nice performance here, and I'm going to have to check out the replays a little bit, because the few rotations actually on the map were actually really, really interesting.
I love them.
The rotation actually on this first game were, I think, a little bit higher than we saw in the first day actual Group A, so I think they're maybe like rewatched the VOD, they're just a little bit more prepared just by watching that. And here we go, the highlights, the early game fight of Airstation Mike. And they came out actually on top pretty nicely, but better luck next time. Unfortunately, they only had 1 member remaining at the very end, and he did get flushed away later on.
We see Red Foxes now turn their attentions throughout this game onto the side of ToWzERA. Tempest, my apologies. And they did take out Tempest. That's the thing, like, Red Foxes, great first game for them in PLC.
A lot of flushes here it is. That was when Team Unique, unfortunately, lack of information. They got turned around instantly by MJ-Esports. And
gotta say,
also.
It was a great response from MJ after that initial knockdown came out from Stratus. It was like MJ just kicked into gear. It's like the communication was spot on, and they really did a great job in taking out Team Unique. But this is the moment that PG-18 got eliminated early on. Those Molotovs and frags being absolute key in getting that squad wipe.
Yeah, that was when the long-range fight was starting to end.
Yep.
Istanbul Warriors, they were trying to rotate. They were rotating so efficiently in that late game. They got fight after fight after fight, and actually came out with a bunch of kills in the process. MJ-Esports talked about it. They had to rotate and face the full forces of Team Moot. They did not take that fight, unfortunately, so they got taken away. That was some nice sniping action. Istanbul Wildcats, sorry for that. They also, like, 4-man team still at the very, very end. That is so surprising with such a flat area to work with at the end.
Yeah, and they, as I said, like, perfecting. There was only kind of one tiny little mistake where he peaked for a split second too long and he got knocked down, but the revive came out efficiently, and then he was able to get that squad wipe at the end. As Hawkeye from ToWzERA, as we point out, that AWM, the arm, really coming in clutch towards the end for himself and his ToWzERA team.
No tag team, that last member unfortunately got cornered by Team Moops. Team Moops, the smokes, they were taken down. That's what caused their downfall. and then they just had Northern Lights coming in, securing those 2 extra kill points, and then unfortunately the Blue Zone took the end on Northern Lights.
As we do see, the points from this first game of the day, and the first game of Group B is Tempest and PG-18. The only 2 teams to score 0 points. MJ-Esports finishing in 9th with 3 points. So kind of low point standing in the bottom 8, as it's kind of normal in fairness. ELGIGANTEN, as I said, the former powerful roster, not getting off to the strongest of starts in PELC. But now look at the top of the table. As I said, Northern Lights 10 kills, 6 placement points, 16 points in total. But Eastern Wildcats, man, getting a good start in PELC with 17 points total.
Man, 17 and 16 points on the first game.
Yep.
Right off the bat, that's a really good high point average overall. But yeah, Istanbul Cats versus the likes of Northern Lights. You see the damage output. Northern Lights, once again, they were getting involved so often. That bolt action was going so well for them. Their conversion rate was also a little bit better. So definitely a good job from Northern Light on this first game. Let's hope they can try and keep up that consistency for the next upcoming 3 games today. Over for the kill leaders, Perfectus from Northern Light, not 8 kills. For himself on the first game. That is insane. Pure insanity.
Yeah, just, individually standing out. I said that. I've seen him play previously and just really not afraid to fire off those shots. The damage of 737. Over 200 more ahead of second place, which is Endu took from huge potential. And, just a great start for them. But Istanbul Wildcats, formerly the roster for Esports, making an impact in day 1 of PEL Contenders Group B.
Well, there you go for the first game here of Group B on the PEL Contenders Phase 3. We'll be back in just a few short minutes for another Erangel game.